Hey, sixth grade, here is a tech option for you. If you are looking for something to do, if you want some technology thing to try, then here's where I'm going to give you as an idea next is to use Tinkercad. Now, I'm going to go to sign in for Tinkercad. Don't do the join now, just go to sign in and then sign in with Google. And that should work. Let's wait and see what happens. Oh, there I am. So again, don't hit join now. Do the sign in. It works. Just do it. It'll work. Basically, if you, I don't know if you guys have used Tinkercad before. I really don't remember. But if you haven't, you're going to go to create new design. I'm going to go to one of my. I don't know. Let me see if I have anything interesting here I can show you. Well, we'll just do this. I'm going to go to this one that I've done before, see what's in there, and then I'll give you some ideas of what you could do. Hopefully, I don't know, is there anything here? It's loading. Cool, no problem. So basically, Tinkercad is a 3D computer-aided design. You've got all kinds of shapes. You bring a shape out here. I bring the box out. You should play with it, see what can you do. What do all these little spots do? What does that do? What does that do? And what does this do? And what does this do? So you've got all sorts of stuff up and down. You can make things bigger and smaller and all that. You can, no matter what shape it is, you could bring out a cylinder. You could put the cylinder inside here, and then you'll hopefully understand this in a little while too. So if I bring this and I sink it down a little bit and I make it a hole, so now what I'll have, especially if I do this, if I push and drag and I do that and I do this group thing right here, group. Now what you'll have is you'll have a rectangular prism with a hole in it. So like, for example, because everything that you do on here can be 3D printed. So you could, oh, there, it finally did it. That's what I just made by putting a hole in it. So you could just play around with this and see all the things, because there are other places to go in here, text and numbers, characters, connectors. There's like a making at home. That says new. I've never used that. That is very new. I have no idea what this is either. But there are some things in here that you'll find if you just explore and see what's in there. All right. So that's the first part, is you could just play with this and see what it does and then have fun. And if you get something cool, hey, you could, and I'll show you this too, you could get this 3D printed. Basically, whatever you get, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But here's my other idea. In your drive, if you start with a Google Drawing, use a Google Drawing, and I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to bring in a logo. I'm going to copy the image of the logo, and I'm going to paste it in. All right. Now, it'd be really cool, like maybe you really love Under Armour, and you want to have like a thing for your backpack that you put on with Under Armour, the logo. We can 3D print that, and you could put it on. And that's where the whole thing comes in when we get to the Tinkercad. You can do a hole in it. But here, now this is the important thing, is you got to go to this line thing, select the line. To do this, depending on what you're doing, you might use the curve, you might use the polyline. I usually use the polyline. Some other people have liked the curve because it does give you a smoother line, depending on what you would try. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple ideas here. I'm just going to use the polyline on this. Now, the important thing on this with the polyline is I suggest zooming way in so that you can do this well. And so I'm going to start here. You can see I have that little target mark. I'm just going to tap there, and every time you tap, it puts a new spot down. It's like a new anchor. It's going to be hard to see for a minute. I'm going to try to actually do well on the beginning part. Okay, now you notice, like, I'm moving, and if you do two fingers to move around, that does not place another anchor. And now I'm going to start speeding up so you don't sit here and watch me do this all day. So again, I use two fingers. Uh-oh, now did I mess up? And sometimes you're going to mess up. No, I guess I'm okay. I must have hit too close to something. There's an anchor. You can see I'm taking my sweet time here, doing my best work. The hardest part for this one, with any logo, the hardest part is how can you get the holes in the middle? And that you could do separately and then work with it on Tinkercad. Because, I have that hole in the middle. I can go all the way around the outside of this, and it's not going to be too bad. 2 fingers to move, tap with 1. Tap with 1. 2 fingers to move, tap with 1. So, let's see. All right, I'm almost back to where I started. And then the important thing is when you do get back to where you started, you notice it almost, if you can see it, it like grabs it. It says, I want to go there. Okay, so now I'm going to tap on the arrow up here. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to do this zoom fit thing. All right, you can see there, I just did the whole Under Armour thing. I am now going to grab that, and I'm going to move it over here for now, because I still really should go in and do the thing in the middle. So I'm going to do that quickly so you can see how that works with the, how you can put that in there, and you'll see them both. Okay, so I'm going to get where I need to go. I just need to do that part in the middle. I'll do that with the polyline again, and as I've done before, I'll go the other way this time. I'm going to be super careful, as you can tell. Obviously, the more of these spots you put down, the better it's going to look, the more rounded it'll look. You could use the curve thing, like I said. The thing you got to be careful of is if you do try to be really careful that, if you tap really close together, you got to be careful so that you don't tap too close together and your Google drawing will think you're done. All right. But you'll have to see. You might mess it up, and then you'll hopefully understand. I'm going to bring both of these things back onto the checkerboard. So these are the 2 parts that I need, okay? Now, before you do anything, you need to make sure that they are transparent. So for some reason, we learned that for this to work the way we want it to work, anything you're going to try to use as 3D printing or 3D designing needs to be transparent. Now, I also encourage you to think about, hey, if you're going to make something, wouldn't it be cool to have your name in it? And what I did is I did my name, insert word art, and then I made it transparent, okay? So here's what I have. I have the Under Armour parts, and I have my name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, File. I'm going to download this as this one. This is Scalable Vector Graphics. The way to put that into English for you is this will be able to be understood by Tinkercad for 3D printing. So I do that, and it goes out. There it is, SVG right there. Okay, so now I go to Tinkercad, and I'm going to bring something in. I'm going to import, and I'm going to go choose a file. Well, let's see where it put it. Right there. There it is, the SVG. I tap on that. Brings in. We've found that it usually works best to do like a scale of 10 instead of 100. 100%, this is 10%. Seems to work well. Let's import it, see what happens. And, I got stuff that I didn't even expect. Well, that's unusual. Okay. So now, I wonder if I can tap on nope. Shoot. Well, anyway, I guess because I had extra stuff over there. That's weird. Why did it do that? Just because it was there. It's not supposed to do it unless it's on the checkerboard. But anyway, now the one thing I'm going to have trouble with is this. I really wanted to move that part onto, in there as a whole, but that's not going to work because it doesn't let me separate things. Interesting. All right, so then I'm going to do this. I'm going to get rid of that. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to delete things. And so I'm going to do this. So let's call it 2. I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to download it, SVG again, one thing at a time. Okay. Okay, so now I don't really think I need this anymore. So now I did the main Under Armour thing. And so now I'm going to do just that. And then I'm going to change the name, call it 3, download SVG. Okay. And now I'm just doing undo. I'm hitting Control Z, but you get the idea. All right, now I need my name. So I've done the Under Armour, I've done the whole, and now, oh, forgot to change the name. 4. And now I'm going to do SVG name. Okay, great. Now, because I don't want to lose things, I'm going to go back. And, I can even bring back some of the other stuff I did too. There we go. Great. It's all there. It's still safe. Now, if I go to this, to Tinkercad and import, I wonder if it'll let me bring in more than one thing at a time. 1, 2. Nope, one at a time. Fine. Let's bring in 2. And again, 10. Import. Oh, there's that. Oh, weird. It's a different color this time. Oh, how unexpected. All right, go back, bring in something else. That was number 2. Now we need 3 and 4. Here's 3. Again, 10. Import. That one shouldn't take long. It's very small. Go back, import one more thing. And that would be 4. 10. Import. All right, so I've got what I need here. Let me turn some stuff around so you can see it better. I always use this square up here to help, or the cube to help me turn things. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, 2-finger, zoom in a little bit. I'm going to now take this, I'm going to bring it right there where I think it needs to go. No, I don't want to turn it. I want to move it just a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't be too picky. I didn't really try that hard. All right, so here's my Under Armour thing. The thing I have to do is I have to take this one. Nope, that one. Wait, what did I do? Don't know what happened. Why did it disappear? Let's bring. I'm gonna use this and go down because I want to tap on just that. I want to make that. I want to make that a hole so that it's actually empty. There, and now I had matched it up. Great. Now again, I can do this. I can push and hold and drag a rectangle, and I can hit group, and then in a little bit, hopefully, it will be what I want. There. Now you can see it, that it now has the hole in it, okay? Now, that's why I said in something like that, you could bring something like this out if you wanted to have, maybe not that big, but you could make a little, and those numbers, the 9 and the 10 that you're seeing, those are millimeters, so that, you can measure that and see how big would that be if I wanted to make a hole there so that it would, be able to clip to your backpack or something like that, okay? Now, here's the other problem you would have with this. If you do your name, which I think is cool, you got to make sure that if you would actually 3D print this, that you would be able to not have the letters all fall apart. So like some of those, it probably would fall apart, especially between the N and the E. It would fall apart. A way to prevent it from falling apart is to bring a cube out or some other shape. It could be a cylinder. Well, let's do the cylinder. That'll be cooler. I'll show you how that would work. I bring out the cylinder. I'm going to put it right in the middle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it both directions and maybe make it a little bit wider so that it covers up the whole thing. I might need to turn around the other way. Oh, see, like there. Okay, so now I got the other side. Make that a little more like that. And that, and again, not taking a lot of time on this. Now I'm going to start using this one to make it smaller so that I get my name to show up. Okay, so what that'll do is that will help it all hold together. And again, if you wanted to put like a hole right here, then you could see, you could attach it to something. All right. I don't want to group the whole thing. I really want to do, and I can do this. I can tap on one. You can do a control tap on the second, and then, nope, didn't work. Let's try it like this. Those two. There we go. Now I can group those together. There. Now they're going to be one thing. Okay, so now we're ready to print. And if you would want to print something, you go to this export button and you export it as STL, and then it'll go into your drive. And then I could 3D print it for you, or you could 3D print it when you're here at school next. So have fun doing some 3D printing, try some stuff, and see what you learn.